comunicarte. So, ves ahí abajo donde dice chat, ahí puedes poner tu nombre, porque también están tomando lista de todos los padres que están acompañándonos, y que pongas tu email para saber cómo comunicarse contigo.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I am recording. What's that, Christina? Did you have something, Christina? No, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I heard someone talk. I am going to record this meeting, so I believe there might be some parents that wanted to attend, but the time didn't work out. So you guys can definitely share that this meeting is being recorded, and that way they can watch. So hopefully we can get every 7th grade parent to want to participate.
Mrs. Giss, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Michelle Drummond. I'm sorry. That first part of what you said, it was a little laggy and glitchy on my end, so I didn't catch. Who are we emailing and why?
So you can put in the private chat to Mrs. Tyner your name and the best way to contact you, email address and or phone number. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Cindy, if they don't type their name in, it just says from me. So I need them to type their name if they will, okay, when they send me their phone number.
Okay, did you guys all hear that? Private chat with Mrs. Tyner. Your
si
name.
le mandaste tu información, Alma, necesitas incluir tu nombre y tu número de teléfono.
So as a school, we can't give you guys parent phone numbers, but you guys can give each other phone numbers. So we have all your phone numbers and emails, but we can't share that with other parents. So that's the way this is the way that we do it. And we normally do it in person at our first meeting and have you guys sign up in the sign-in sheet and do that for us. So hopefully you guys are comfortable with this way. That way we can be able to communicate with each other as we move forward. So our hope, and Mrs. Jamaica, tell me when you need to translate.
Okay, well,
go ahead.
I don't know if I have any more parents, but la escuela no está autorizada para dar teléfonos de cada familia a otras familias. So, aquí pueden ustedes compartir su teléfono con otros padres. So, si gustas compartirlo, si ves a alguien más, puedes compartir tu teléfono por ellos. Go ahead, Mrs. Giss.
All right. So our hope, every finger is crossed, that we will have a regular 8th grade trip for your students next year. But everything's changing every day. So, you know, we can't promise anything, but our hope is that things will be opened up and we'll get to do some type of a trip. For this year, we're going to try to do something for our poor 8th graders, even if it's not educational. Our school board has told us, take them somewhere, do something just for a quick day trip. So we'll be doing that. We're still working to try to get some of our money back. If you watch Channel 26 News, you probably saw the story. It's on social media. We're out over $40,000 that we're trying to get back from last year's trip that we would love to be able to give to those kids in scholarships. So we're still working on that. So I don't want you, the reason I'm telling you this is I don't want you to think, well, we're going to do this fundraising and then we're not going to be able to go anywhere and it's all going to just go to the next class. That's not the case. We will ensure that the money raised goes to your students in this class. Just don't know what we would do, but our hope is to do our regular 8th grade trip. And for those of you that aren't familiar with our regular 8th grade trip, is we take 3 days, 2 nights, take the kids to San Francisco, and we walk the Golden Gate Bridge, we go to the Science Museum, we go to a baseball game as long as there's one in town. We take a boat cruise, boat dinner cruise, and give the kids some spending money for Pier 39 and kind of hang out in San Francisco. Miss Jamaica, I'm sorry, I talked a lot.
No, is there a way that I can speak while you're speaking and I wouldn't interrupt you?
Well, let me see what I can do. I don't have KDB, but
Okay, while you figure that out,
You could take her to a breakout room, but then she would just need to come back when she was done. No, but she could tell her what you just said, but she wouldn't hear you that later.
Yeah, I think I needed to sign up for the translation before I opened up the Zoom. So I think I'm too late to set that up.
Okay.
But let me put you in a breakout room, Loopy. Well, then we can't keep talking.
Okay,
Sorry,
I'll just briefly tell her, and she'll call me back if she has any questions.
Okay.
La mesa directiva quiere que la escuela haga algo con los estudiantes de octavo grado. So, el año pasado no pudieron ir a San Francisco a su viaje y están tratando de obtener su dinero que ya habían depositado. Ahorita quieren que de perdido hagan algo con ellos, que hagan un viaje pequeño de un solo día para que tengan un viaje, algo conmemorable para ellos. Toda la recaudación de fondos que vaya a haber para ellos va a ser para su viaje y solamente para los alumnos de octavo grado este año.
Okay, so to get down to the real information is what we need to do is fundraise. So I had mentioned earlier, normally you guys do a spaghetti dinner or some type of a dinner for this next round of parent conferences in March, but we're not doing in-person conferences. So your first fundraiser will be the fireworks booth. And that's really what we need to talk about because I'm on a deadline to submit paperwork for that. And we've done, last year, I think we did 7,000, Stacy?
Yes, it was one of the biggest ones we've ever done.
Yeah. So, and last summer was COVID summer, right? And we were still successful with that. They took our parents through a COVID training and, you know, we were limited on the numbers that were in the booth and gloves and masks and all that. But, and I'm assuming I'm assuming it'll be the same this year, but I don't know. But part with the fireworks booth, not to put any pressure on you guys, but if you guys don't want to do it, then I'll offer it to Dad's Club or another club on campus, because if we don't do it at all, then we lose it and we don't know if we ever can get it back because they only allow so many booths in Tulare County. So I always like to ask you guys, because you guys are the ones that run it and have to be out there before. I just don't want to assume that that's something that this parent group wants to do. So go ahead, Loopy.
Okay, so una de las eventos que se hacía antes era una venta de cena de spaghetti durante las conferencias. Este año no hay conferencias en persona. So van a tener el puesto de pirotería y el año pasado recaudaron $7,000 vendiendo los fuegos artificiales. Este año quieren volver a tenerlo. El año pasado ya estábamos con el COVID. Tenían todas las precauciones con guantes y mascarillas. Si acaso los padres no quieren tener ayudar a venderlo, entonces lo van a ofrecer al club de papás, de padres, para que ellos vendan los juegos de pirotería, a menos que las señoras no tengan ningún inconveniente seguir este verano. Okay, Mrs. Guest.
Okay, you were kind of freezing a little bit, Loopy, just to let you know. Okay, so with that comes, I think there's a few trainings that you have to go to in order to get certified and to learn how to work the credit card machine. We need to look at also, if we want to do this, storing the fireworks, and we can't store them on campus, so they need to be stored off campus. And we've done in the past pull trailers. Some people have had pull trailers and we put them in there, or some type of storage trailer, which then is parked in a very secure place. So that would be the other thing that we would have to look at. I don't recall, Stacy, I don't know if you do, but I know if it wasn't last year, it was the year before, we actually limited the number of days that we sold fireworks, and they were still very successful. And
I believe both years, last year and the year before, when the Fahrenkopfs ran the booth, we limited it to July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 4th, but it kind of depends on what day July 4th falls on. But what Mr. Fahrenkopf kind of noticed that the other people noticed in the years before is the sales don't really start happening. So people were basically sitting in a booth for 3 or 4 days with nothing happening until the 1st in years past. And so the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, that's really probably all you need. I don't know what day the 4th falls on. I should have looked, but I did not look.
It's on a Sunday. So
Okay.
the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th would be the Thursday through Sunday.
Perfect. Perfect.
So that would be something that would be up to you. I know that he even closed it early on the 4th. We typically in the past, we had kept it open later, but Mr. Fahrenkopf looked at the history and looked at the sales and thought that it wasn't worth the time to keep the booth open.
I believe they kept it open a little bit later last year on the 4th, and they did great. And I know the family that was running it last year, they took the trailer home, didn't they, and stored it at their house. It was it was her husband's construction trailer, so they piled it all in and took it home.
Ok, estaban hablando que tenemos que tener un entrenamiento para saber cómo guardar y cómo manejar todos los juegos de piratería, y han tenido las ventas de perdido de 3 o 4 días, dependiendo de cuándo caiga el 4 de julio. Ha habido padres y Mr. Fahrenkopf que les prestan unas trailas para guardar toda la mercancía para que esté a salvo. Okay.
So I'm seeing some parents chatting in our chat, and it looks like Tina Cox says, let's do it. And Deanne Cardoza is offering a trailer to store them in, which is wonderful. So basically, I want you guys to be able to talk. Some of you are parents who have experience from helping us out in the past, and so you can share the experience, but really this needs to be a decision from you guys, because you guys are the ones that will be doing the booth. Unfortunately, we cannot have 18-year or under in the booth, so this is one of the fundraisers that the students can't really help out with unless we wanted to do any pre-sale tickets prior to. But this is unfortunately one of the fundraisers that they can't help out with. Now, some years in the past, they've done like a little snack bar or sold waters because it's so hot off to the side. And that's definitely something students can help with, because I'm all about students working to earn this trip for themselves. But unfortunately, this fundraiser limits what the students can do for us.
Okay, los estudiantes no se les permiten estar, que ningún alumno o persona de menores de 18 años pueden estar vendiendo la piratería. So, en el pasado se les ha permitido vender aguas o meriendas porque el clima ha estado muy caliente, pero no pueden ellos participar a menos que vendan boletos por adelantado para que compren los juegos artificiales o los ordenen. Menos de eso, nos gustaría que ellos participaran porque es la recaudación de fondos para su viaje y para ellos, pero no es posible que participen adentro de los puestos.
So every year we've kind of tackled this differently. In past years, sometimes we have a parent that says, I'll take on the fireworks booth, which doesn't mean that you do it by yourself, but means that you become the lead for that piece of the fundraiser. And so you're kind of the go-to person. And then sometimes I have a parent that says, I want to be the communication person. So I'll simply do flyers for any of the fundraisers. I'll be the communication person, put out emails to the class. We've had some years where one parent says, I kind of want to be the coordinator of it all. and then divvy everything out underneath there. So just to kind of take you guys through, after the fireworks booth, if you choose to do that, then we have the Harvest Carnival, which let's hope that'll happen next year. And that one's a great one that kids can help with, very much so. And then after the Harvest Carnival, then we have the farm show next year that we get to do. But we never like to rely on the farm show. We always have been successful at the farm show, except for this year. But we always like, Mrs. Ruffert likes to see that the class has a little bit more than half of what they need to fundraise for before we go into the farm show. There has been years in the past that we've had to do one more before the farm show, just to boost up some of the income that we have.
Okay. Hay unas señoras que quieren que si se quieren encargar del puesto de pilotería. También la otra recaudación de fondos que hemos tenido es por el carnaval que se hace en octubre, y ahí participan todos los alumnos, y el Farm Show, la exposición de agricultura. No quieren depender solamente de la exposición de agricultura porque no sabemos cómo vaya a estar. Y ahí es donde todos los alumnos participan. Go ahead, Mrs. Guest.
Okay. I know Amber has chatted in the chat. We understand that you guys will have conflicts with different fundraisers that we have, and we understand that. So we'd love for you to help out with all of them, but we understand that obviously you might have something already planned because it is summer break. And you might not be able to help with the Harvest Carnival. We understand that. So what we look at for chaperoning on the trip is we look at your involvement as a mom and or dad. So it's not one parent doing all the work and then the dad's going to expect to go as well. So everybody needs to give time if you're both wanting to go as husband and wife. But we look at your involvement with the trip. I mean, yeah, with the fundraising and how much you've been able to assist. And then if all things are equal there, then we start looking at past involvement that you've had at Sundale. Have you gone on other field trips? What have you done at Sundale prior to this fundraising for the 8th grade trip? So I just want to make sure to be clear with you guys. And we've had so many parents are like, I don't want to go on the trip. I don't want to deal with all those 8th graders, but obviously want to help because it's supporting our students to take a fabulous trip. So we've had everything in between there, but when it comes down to it, that's what Mrs. Ruffert and I look at, because we've always had so many parents that want to go, and we wish we can take you all, but we can't, unfortunately. So that's what we look at.
You kind of answered it after I put it in the chat. That I didn't know if this was like the only opportunity was the fireworks booth, but now that I know multiple ones, I don't feel like we're.
Yeah, I wish it could be a one and done, but unfortunately not.
Si te gustaría acompañar a Luis como chaperón, lo que ellos consideran es el envolvimiento que tengas tú, qué participación tienen los padres en cada evento de recaudación de fondos. Pueden ir los dos padres con el alumno, dependiendo y si hay lugar al igual para ellos. No es necesario, si no te es posible, que darse de voluntario en todos los eventos. Hay varias oportunidades de que puedan participar.
Ok, sí me gustaría, pero siempre y cuando sea en la tarde, porque yo trabajo de lunes a viernes por las mañanas. Como la pilotería, what time does the fireworks booth run up to? When do you guys close down?
En la noche. Nosotros tenemos en la mañana 10 a las 8 o 9 en la noche. Okay. Nosotros tenemos tiempos para 2 horas para cada parte. Okay.
Okay.
And el carnaval diario es en la tarde, ya en la noche.
En la noche, yeah.
Ajá.
5
Y,
on the web or 5, yeah, 5
Yeah,
on the web.
8:30, yeah.
no, la exposición de agricultura, cuando la vuelvamos a tener, esa no es en la noche, son turnos de la mañana hasta las 4:30 de la tarde.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys tell me what you're thinking as far as the fireworks booth, because we need to make that decision tonight. Amanda Harris is giving
a couple
thumbs
of
up.
let's do this on chat. I don't necessarily see their names, but I can see.
Yeah, I saw Tina Cox and Deanne is offering a trailer. We would need Wendy Powell saying yes. We would need a place to store the trailer because it would need to be pulled in and pulled out each day. Well, it looks like Shannon Roberts is in, Amanda.
I know Deanne earlier said she had a trailer. Is that correct?
Deanne Cardoza, yeah.
Okay, and she's saying they could store it at their shop?
Well,
Right.
I'm not sure about that, Deanne. I know you're offering the trailer, but I don't know if you can.
Yes,
store.
if we need to use a trailer, we can leave it at our shop and we can also park it at our house.
Okay, that'd be great. That would be great. So I would need, I need one person's name because I need to put that name on the paperwork, and that person would be the one that would have to be trained, okay, on all the fire issues. I think the training's at the fire department. So I would need someone that would be willing to kind of take that role on. Like I said, it doesn't mean that you're in charge. And however this group wants to do it, and you guys could talk amongst yourself. I'm sure a lot of you guys have each other's phone numbers, or if you want to set that up, but you guys can talk amongst yourself on how you want to begin to look at the schedule for those days and getting volunteers to help for the different times. I've always told the groups I like to have at least a male, especially in the evenings. You know, it's dark, and I would love to have at least a male in every shift, but if we can at least get a male in the evening shifts, it just makes me feel more comfortable to know. Not that us females aren't tough, we can do it.
I don't know if this helps, but I can share. I can download from my phone last year's schedule, and we can look at that in a few minutes if you want, and see what they did, and if that's something you guys, whoever wants to work on that or whatever, we might be able to look at that.
I'm getting this binder. This is the 8th grade binder.
Oh gosh.
It's lovely. So in this binder is years of information. I've kind of weeded some of it out because it was really a lot of years of information from fireworks, from everything we've done. And it's really a nice tool to be able to go, so you don't have to recreate anything. You know, with dinners we've done, with Harvest Carnival, you know, how many cans of beans do we need for the chili, you know, whatever it is, Frito boats, everything's in here, which is nice. So, and this is in my office, and I don't mind letting any of you guys come and take a look or take it with you or pull out portions of it. We just don't want to lose it because it does have a lot of good information that we continue to use every year. So there's lots of people chiming in on the chat. Gloria Ortega, Michelle Johnston. Yeah, and you might not be able to help with all the available time slots, but whatever help you can give would be greatly appreciated. Grandparents can help. They just have to be 18 or over.
¿Estás entendiendo, Alma? No te oigo porque tienes el micrófono apagado.
Unas cosas sí, otras no. Prefiero que me traduzca todo.
So, lo que están definiendo es, las señoras están entusiasmadas en encargarse y hacer el puesto de pirotería. Se están ofreciendo sus trailers, sus lugares de negocios para guardar la pirotería, y van a decidir quién va a ser la persona encabezada para que vaya a recibir el entrenamiento de cómo manejar la pirotería y mantenerla a salvo. Okay. En el turno de la noche prefieren que haya un hombre ahí presente para ayudarlos a cargar, descargar, y es más bien por la seguridad de uno. Okay.
La directora tiene una carpeta que tiene mucha información sobre años pasados, que cualquier persona que va a encargarse del evento puede ir a recogerla y darse una idea de cómo manejarla.
¿Cómo manejarla? ¿Y dónde uno se puede anotar? Es que es el primer año que vienen a la escuela y es totalmente diferente a la escuela que vienen.
Mrs. Tyner nos daría esa información. Mrs. Tyner, you would let us know when parents would sign up, right? Sí, Mrs. Tyner te mandaría esa información cuando es tiempo ya de que elijas el turno que van a trabajar.
Okay.
Okay, so, you know, people are asking, Dan asked about the hours. Really, it's whatever you guys want to set up. Like we had mentioned, Mr. Fahrenkopf had adjusted some things the last 2 years when he looked at data from back. But we also have iPads and the little squares for the credit card readers as well that we have you guys use to be able to take the credit card charges. So I'm gathering that this is a go.
Yeah. You got lots of parents in the chat.
Lots of parents.
I'm right.
Okay. Okay, awesome. And I want to let you guys know that this is an amazing turnout. I don't think our first meeting, we've ever had this many people, Ms. Tyner.
No.
So this is great.
Okay.
So Mrs. Tyner is the I know your kids aren't 8th graders yet, but the 8th grade parent liaison. So she's a go-to, like if you need to email her and say, what did Mrs. Giss say? I didn't understand, or how do I sign up? And she can always send you over to the parent that's in charge. So she might be planning another meeting for you guys. If you guys want to have a meeting and you want us to put that information out, I'd like always for Mrs. Tyner or myself to be there. If you guys have a parent within your group that can help translate notices or anything that you have, great. We have Miss Jamaica and she's wonderful, but she's very busy during the day. So any all call messages that you want to send out, we have you guys record those. And then also if you have a Spanish speaking parent that could translate that and record that for you guys too. That's always helpful. And then we have our blue activity request forms that some of you guys are aware of. I don't have any right now because we're not using them because nothing's going on the calendar. But we ask that you fill those out at least 40 or 2 weeks in advance. If there's something, if you guys want to plan a meeting, then fill that out. But get with Ms. Tyner or myself. You can email me. My rule of thumb is I respond to emails within 24 hours. So you can email me and ask, is this date okay? Ms. Tyner and I will look at it and then let you know. But definitely welcome to have meetings on our campus or via Zoom. And I can set up Zooms for you as well. Also, if we're going to meet on campus, we have to social distance, which is fine, but it's probably easier to do Zoom unless it's going to be a small group of you, then we can look at that. Okay.
So, quiere que se pongan todos de acuerdo y decidan si necesitan tener otra reunión. Cualquier información se pueden dirigir a Mrs. Tyner, le pueden mandar un correo electrónico o a Mrs. Guest y ellas les contestan en cuanto les sea posible. Si quieren una reunión de persona en persona, tiene que ser grupo pequeño y va a ver si fuese posible. Si no, ella les puede arreglar un Zoom para que se reúnan todas las personas y tengan su junta. You can go ahead, Mrs. Guest.
Okay, so is there anyone, Erin, you can email me later, you don't have to say now, but if there's anyone that is willing to have me put their name on the paperwork, and I think I have to put your phone number too, because you would be the one that would have to do the training. So if there's anybody that would be willing to do that, and you don't have to let me know tonight, but if you can email me tomorrow, because I really need to get this paperwork submitted so we don't lose our spot with having a booth. Okay.
Quiere saber si hay alguien que quiere ser la persona encabezada del evento. Y también va a haber un entrenamiento para usar las tarjetas de crédito, o alguien tiene que entrenarse para entrenar a las demás.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time because I know we are all so busy. Mrs. Tyner's put her phone number there in the chat. Thank you, Mrs. Varner, for being willing to translate things into Spanish. That's wonderful. Thank you for all of you guys indicating that you're a go and you want to make it happen. And so I appreciate that so much. So for now, what I'll need is a parent name or two parents' names that I can put on the paperwork so we can get that submitted. And then we'll go from there as far as setting up another meeting. I know the fireworks, we'd use Phantom Fireworks, and they're always willing to talk with you guys too and talk through some different specials or promotions if we choose to take part in those. So I could set up a meeting. We'll wait out a little bit and have them attend to share all that information with you guys, and maybe just invite those parents that really want to give time to the fireworks booth. Okay.
So está pidiendo que el nombre de dos personas para poner en la aplicación y que sean las personas indicadas en todo el papelaje y quiere que se haga lo más pronto posible para que podamos tener todo esto que sea exitoso.
All right, any questions that I can answer for you guys about anything?
¿Tienes alguna pregunta sobre cualquier cosa?
Mrs. Nunes says she'll answer them all for you.
Deanne wants to know how long the training is and what does it consist of? Is it an all day or a couple hours?
Good question, Deanne. I've never gone, but I think it's just a couple hours. And right now, I mean, they may even be doing it via Zoom. So one of those things that I can definitely find out.
I believe last year, Mr. Mallory's dad met with Mrs. Christensen via Zoom. So he met with her via Zoom and she received her training that way.
Yeah, it's been nice because our rep is actually, well, I don't know if he's still our rep, but Mr. Van Syok, Greg Van Syok. And so it's nice because he's done a couple of these booths with his kids here at Sundale. So he kind of knows our style and how we roll. All right, any other questions? Now's your time to ask. Tina, did you have a question?
I had a quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
Michelle, hold on. Are you going, Michelle? Okay, go for it, Michelle.
Yeah, sorry, I know I'm really laggy, but I was just wondering, so we won't be at any time doing any like pre-order type things for lunches or meals or any kind of sales like that?
More than likely not. We always try to keep our fundraisers similar to what we've done in the past because they've been successful for us. You know, this year is just going to be another unique year, so we'll just take one day at a time and see if there's any changes or any takeout or pickup meals that we want to do, Michelle. Okay. Tina.
Yes, quick question. So how do we, I know you said that you're not allowed to give us all of our numbers out. So how do we like put on the list that we don't mind, you know what I mean? Like numbers are out there.
Yeah, so Stacy, you're getting, so some of you guys logged in late, but if you want to put in the private chat to Mrs. Tyner, your name, your phone number, your email, kind of the best way to contact you, then that's telling us that you're okay for us to share your number or email with whatever parents that are asking to gather that information. Okay, Tina, does that answer?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Also, I know some of you guys came in late, so please definitely put in the private chat to Mrs. Tyner that information if you're comfortable sharing your phone number, email.
You can also text it to me. I shared my cell phone number, but I'm going to do it right now again on screen. If you want to text me your name and number, that would be great, and say that you're willing to help or something. And if you want your number shared, just text me your number and name and I will share it out to everybody else. That is my cell phone number. Okay. I know I put it in the chat, but some of you can't see the chat maybe right now. because it backs it up quite a bit, but okay. If you guys want my number, cell phone, you can text it to me and put your name and your cell phone number. Well, it'll come through, but okay. And if you don't mind your name being out there, I'll create a spreadsheet with our phone numbers. And if you don't want it shared, please let me know that you don't want it shared, okay?
So it would be nice for us to have your email, because that's just a nice way to be able to shoot out a group information if it's something that's easier to put out through email.
Alma, Mrs. Steiner va a crear una hoja donde va a poner todos los números y los emails para compartir con los padres. Si no quieres que compartan tu información con los padres, déjales saber, por favor.
No, está bien.
Okay. She's fine with you sharing her information.
Okay.
Okay, super. Thank you. All right, anything else? Actually, I was going through the 7th grade list of students as Mrs. Tyner and I were planning this meeting. I told Miss Tyner, piece of cake. This is such a great group. It's not going to be a problem at all. And Mrs. Tyner and I were going to personally call some of you to invite you. And I told Miss Tyner yesterday, you know what? We don't need to, because these parents are just going to show up, because they're just a good group of parents. You guys have been great all the way through, coming through Sundale. And some of you haven't been with us for very long, but you've been wonderful. So thank you. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your flexibility. We don't know what anything's going to look like in a normal year. And I'll just tell you that if you are interested in going on the 8th grade trip, if you email Mrs. Rufer and I sometime after June, after school's out, just shoot us an email. That's not your confirmation that you're interested in going, but at least it gives us a heads up. And then come September, 8th grade teachers will be sending out a formal piece of paper. Yeah, if you're interested in chaperoning, and it will have costs and all that on there. But it's nice for Mrs. Rufer and I to know, just to kind of have a heads up if you want to email us, because then if we don't get the paper from you in September, because sometimes our children are wonderful with delivering papers, then we can call you and say, well, you emailed us, but we don't have a paper from you. So
that's why they're all here. Their kids didn't have to bring a note home to them.
That's I know.
Si estás interesada en ir como chaperón, necesitas avisarles como en junio, mandarles un correo electrónico diciéndole al Mrs. Rufford o a Mrs. Gist que te interesa ir, y como en septiembre Mrs. Tyner empieza a mandar las formas a su casa para que las llenes, y de ahí te incluye el costo para los padres.
Ok, está bien, gracias.
So what I'll do tomorrow is save this recording into, I don't know, a link of some sort. I'll have some assistants to help me with that. And I might have the 7th grade teachers put that out for any parents that either want to go back and listen to it again, or your spouse wants to listen to it, or someone that wasn't in attendance. So if you know someone that's not here tonight but really wanted to be, let them know that 7th grade teachers will be sending out the link and they can go back and listen to the recording. Okay. All right, Ms. Tyner, anything else?
No, they're already texting me, so thank you. And when I become a real teacher and figure out how to create like a Google Doc or something that's shareable with their emails and phone numbers, I'll do that. But in the meantime, I'll probably create a pretend Excel spreadsheet that's not really an Excel spreadsheet, just data collection. So.
Mrs. Tyner is wonderful. All right, guys. Well, I'll stick around in case anyone wants to stick around and ask more questions. But otherwise, you guys have a nice, wonderful evening. Get some rest.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for coming. Super class, the super group.
Exciting.
Gracias por haberte participado, Alma, que hayas tomado el tiempo para informarte. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys. I'll stick around. Ms. Tyner will stick around in case anyone has any additional questions. Thank you, guys. Tell your kids hi.